If you've ever slipped and fallen at a restaurant or a theme park or wherever, you know that you could seriously be injured in just a little more than a blink of an eye. It happens so quickly. But when is it the business owner's problem? When are they liable? Here to talk about the legal ins and outs of slip and fall injuries in a topic that is just dripping with irony this morning is Terry Crouppen of Brown and Crouppen, who did not bring a prop, brought a necessity to get up here on stage.
My friends.
What? Yeah, your new best friends, lefty and righty.
I was injured on a vacation recently, Matthew, and I am now living. I am, what am I? I've passed talking the talk. I'm now walking the walk.
Well,
yeah.
As best you can walk.
Yeah,
at this
it's
point.
you know what? First of all, I have to apologize to all of the wonderful people that we've represented all these years. I have never, till this time, really hurt my back. And I thought I'd hurt my back. But
now you
I
realize.
laid in a hotel room because we were out of town. I laid there for 3 days in the worst agony you can't get. It's comfortable, you can't. I mean, it ruins your life. So it's far worse. I had read the word sciatica in so many medical reports and thought, oh, well. You know, this is like I was a public defender many years ago, and when we had a burglary case, we always thought, oh, it's just a burglary. And then I was burglarized.
Yeah, brings it home,
I am now, yes, it really brings it home. It is a horrible injury. It changes your life. It takes whatever quality of life, you know, you just can't get rid of the pain. So slip and fall cases are, you know, important to understand. It's important to understand what you can do and what you can't do, what's your responsibility, what's their responsibility. And they happen all the time.
Yeah.
We get calls all the time about people who've fallen, and falls account for terrible injuries.
Let's talk about when it really becomes I don't know how to phrase this, but a legal burden for the proprietor of the business where you are. Let's say, let's go to Six Flags, just as a purely hypothetical example.
I love going to Six Flags.
I do too. There's a lot of signage there.
We should
go. We should. Take the show on the road.
Should go.
If you have this condition, you shouldn't ride this ride.
Right.
I mean, that seems to the common person like fair warning.
I think, again, that's an important word you just used, fair warning. In other words, I think warnings that give you a fair description of what you're going to encounter give you some ability then to make a decision whether you want to ride it or not ride it. But there are some situations that occur that you can't warn somebody, and that's sufficient. In other words, if you have a dangerous ride, and over the years, there's been a lot of these cases where the harnesses that hold people in aren't proper. In other words, they really aren't one size fits all. They're too small for some people, and people are hurt. Water, you know, material on the ground that people slip or trip or fall on that shouldn't be there. In other words, again, it's fair warning and reasonableness. If it's a ride that shakes you around, and when you get on it shakes you around, and they warned you about it, then I don't believe you have much of a case. And let me just say this: there's one misunderstanding that people have about fall cases, and that's if I'm hurt on your property, you're automatically responsible for my injury.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
You have to have done something careless that directly leads to me being hurt.
And probably had to be aware that there was a threat there in the first place.
You know, but again, these can be technical and hard to understand. And so consult an attorney if you have a serious injury from falling on someplace other than your own home.
There you go. Better to check with somebody who knows something about this topic.
It's always a good idea. Yep. And for you poor people suffering from back injuries, God, it's...
Terry feels your pain.
I feel your pain.
Very literally. If you have a legal question for this guy or anybody over at the Brown and Crouppen team, you can email us at greatday.